You know, you blink and it feels like the world of AI has completely changed. The pace is absolutely insane. This week alone, we've seen everything from AI that can literally read your mind to serious plans for putting data centers into orbit. Seriously, it never sleeps.
So, let's just dive right in. Here's what we're going to cover. First, how AI is rewriting reality. Then, we'll get into mind reading and planet scanning AI. After that, a new wave of robots, smarter AI brains, and we'll finish up by looking at why AI's future might actually be in space.
All right, first up, let's talk about how AI is basically becoming a Hollywood special effects studio that fits on your laptop. Companies like ByteDance and Alibaba are just erasing the line between what's real and what's generated.
Okay, check this out. ByteDance has this new tool called BindWeave, and it's wild. You just upload one single photo of a person, an object, whatever, write a quick description of the scene you want, and boom, the AI creates a video and sticks your subject right in there. The facial detail it gets from just one picture is just, wow, it's incredibly accurate.
And look, this isn't just hype. They put it to the test. In actual user studies, people consistently pick BindWeave over competitors like Vase and Phantom. It's just better, both in overall quality and in keeping the subject looking consistent.
And just when you think that's cool, Alibaba's Unilumos comes along. This thing can grab a character from one video, drop them into a totally new background, and, this is the magic part, automatically relight the entire scene so it looks perfect. This was a super tedious manual job for video editors, and now it's not only automated, it's 76 times faster.
Okay, so AI can edit our reality. But what about decoding it? Let's switch gears, because now we're going to see how AI is learning to interpret everything, from our own thoughts to satellite images of the entire planet. This is where things get straight-up science fiction. There's a new model called BrainIT, and it can reconstruct what a person is looking at just by scanning their brain activity. Let me say that again. The AI has never seen the original picture. It's generating this image purely from fMRI signals. And it's not just a blurry blob. It gets the shape, the orientation, the whole composition. It's mind-boggling. So how in the world does it work? Well, it's a two-step process, basically. First, a transformer model looks at the brain signals to figure out both the what, like it's a jet, and the where, it's in the top left corner. Then a diffusion model takes that information and, well, it draws the picture. Now let's zoom out, way out, from the human brain to the entire Earth. The Allen Institute's AlmaEarth is a massive AI model that's been fed just tons of satellite and environmental data. And it's turning all that info into real, actionable insights for things that really matter, like spotting deforestation, assessing wildfire risk, and even predicting typhoons.
Next up, let's look at what happens when AI gets a body. The latest generation of humanoid robots are starting to move in ways that are, well, they're shockingly lifelike. So the Chinese electric vehicle company Xpeng showed off a new robot. And at first you're thinking, okay, another humanoid robot, cool. But then they reveal the whole design and wow, it's unbelievably sleek. It has this perfect curvature, flexible synthetic skin. It honestly looks like it walked right out of a sci-fi blockbuster. But here's the real game changer. It's not just the look, it's how it moves. Most other robots have that kind of rigid, clunky robotic feel, right? But this iron robot from Xpeng moves with this incredible fluidity that is just, damn, it's lifelike. It's probably the most natural moving robot I have ever seen.
And it isn't just about robots walking on their own. Unitri Robotics just dropped this insane demo of their remote control system. The latency is so low, it's pretty much real time. We're talking about an operator making the robot do kung fu, dribble a soccer ball, and even balance a tray of water without spilling a drop. The precision is just incredible.
So we've got these amazing new robot bodies, but what about the brains powering everything? Now we're going to get into the core of AI itself, with a new open source model that's taking on the big guys, and a totally new way for AI to process language. Okay, this is a huge one. The team behind the Kimmy model just released Kimmy K2, and it immediately rocketed to the #2 spot on the big artificial analysis leaderboard. It's sitting just behind GPT-5. This is massive news. It means open source has officially caught up to the top-tier proprietary models. And Kimmy K2 isn't just a jack-of-all-trades. It's specifically built for really complex reasoning and coding. We're talking about an AI that can execute hundreds of steps on its own to solve a problem. And look at this. It's beating top models from OpenAI and Anthropic on some of the toughest reasoning tests out there.
Now, to understand this next breakthrough, we have to quickly talk about something called tokens. Right now, most AI models process language by chalking up words into these little pieces, or tokens, and then they predict the next token one by one by one.
As you can imagine, that one-at-a-time process is pretty slow and inefficient. Well, Tencent just came out with a new architecture called CALM that changes the game. Instead of predicting one tiny token at a time, it predicts entire chunks of words at once. This drastically cuts down the processing steps and could be the next huge leap in making AI way, way faster. Okay, for our final topic, let's look way, way ahead. AI models are getting so powerful that we're actually starting to hit physical limits here on Earth. Limits on power, on cooling. So, where do we go next? Well, the answer might just be up. This is the exact question that seems to be driving Google's Project Suncatcher. While everyone else is scrambling to build these massive, power-hungry data centers on land, Google is seriously planning to send its AI hardware into orbit around the Earth.
So why space? It's actually kind of genius. You get two massive advantages. One, you have constant, uninterrupted sunlight, which means about 8 times more energy than you can reliably get on Earth. And two, the vacuum of space is the perfect free coolant. You don't need these insanely expensive and power-hungry water cooling systems. It's a brilliant solution. And that really brings us to the final big question to think about. Google's talking about launching its first prototypes by 2027. If this works, if we can actually tap into the limitless energy and cooling of space, what happens when the power of AI is no longer tied down by earthly limits? What does that future look like?